Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're having a good day. We're going to be thinking about the cities of refuge in today's study. Our hymn is called God is the Refuge of His Saints.
God is the refuge of his saints when storms of sharp distress invade. There we can offer our complaints, behold him risen with his aid. Loud may the troubled ocean roar in sacred peace, our souls abide, while every nation, every shore trembles and dreads this swelling tide. That sacred stream, thy holy word, our grief allays, our fear controls. Speak peace, thy promises afford, and give new strength to fainting souls. Zion enjoys her monarch's love, secure against a threatening hour, nor can her firm foundations move, built on his truth and armed with power.
Okay, let's think about the Lord is our refuge. The cities of refuge were laid out in Numbers chapter 35. The Lord speaks to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall appoint cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the manslayer who kills any person accidentally may flee there." And so he gives some directions about this. And the bottom line is sometimes accidents happen. And even in our nation, there's a difference between murder and manslaughter and things along those lines. And sometimes accidents just happen. And so this is even less than manslaughter. You might look down. He gives some details. We'll come back up here in just a moment. But he talks about if the person, it's like if they strike some, look up at verse 16. If he strikes him with an iron implement so that he dies, he's a murderer. If he strikes him with a stone in the hand by which one could die and he does die, he's a murderer. And the murderer is going to be put to death. If he strikes him with a wooden hand weapon, by which one could die, if he does that, he's a murderer. Okay? If he hits someone over the head with a baseball bat and the guy dies, he's a murderer. Okay? That's the picture. Okay? If he pushes him out of hatred, if he pushes him, out a window or something, lying in wait, right? That's premeditation. Hurls something at him so that he dies, or an enmity, he strikes him, you get the idea, he's a murderer. But if he pushes him suddenly without enmity, or throws anything at him while lying in wait, or uses a stone by which a man could die, throwing it at him without seeing him, so that he dies, while he was not his enemy or seeking his harm, then the congregation shall judge. That's a key point right there. The congregation shall judge between the manslayer and the avenger of blood according to these judgments. Sometimes things just happen. You hit someone with your car. Someone steps out in front of you and you didn't see them, and splat. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes there's accidents at work. And, maybe you're just joking around. That happens. I've worked at factories and people can clown around and joke around, and all of a sudden somebody gets hurt. Someone can die. It happens. I don't know that business there in the passage about, if you use a stone, throwing it at him without seeing him. I don't know if that means you're just, I don't know why you would be throwing a stone to begin with. But I don't know if maybe the idea might be sort of a warning shot. If you just give a warning shot, it's like you're not trying to hit them, you're just trying to warn them off your property or something like that. Maybe that might be maybe what it's talking about. And You accidentally hit them. It's like, you were just trying to warn them, but anyway, it happens. Accidents happen. And so these cities of refuge are set up so that the person who accidentally kills someone or other things perhaps could flee there because, and now let's go back up, because the cities of refuge for you from the avenger. If you accidentally kill someone, the survivor's family, they may come after you. You kill someone's daughter, that father may come after you. And whether it was an accident or not, he may want to get his hands on you. And so these cities of refuge are set up to offer you refuge in these situations. And so you would come, and like I said, the congregation would judge. And if they said, yep, it was an accident, then you had refuge. These things are a shadow of Jesus. We come to him for our refuge. We come to him for protection because we're guilty. We're guilty. And sometimes we may commit sins of ignorance, and we still need to come to him and seek refuge. And so here, concerning these physical cities and these things that are happening, it's like tempers can flare. And so the person could go there, but there were rules. The congregation would judge. That was one of the rules. But then also, you have this rule. Because this isn't just a temporary thing. It's like you're going to remain there in the city of refuge. You're going to have to move there until the death of the high priest who is anointed with the holy oil. But if the manslayer at any time goes outside the limits of the city of refuge where he fled, and the avenger of blood finds him outside the limits of his city of the city of refuge, and the avenger of blood kills the manslayer, he shall not be guilty of blood, because he should have remained in the city of refuge. You know, there's an account in the life of Solomon early on where one of the people that David dealt with, and let me see, I think it's Shimei in 1 Kings chapter 2. Yeah, in 1 Kings chapter 2, if you're familiar with this account, I won't put it up on the screen, but if you have a chance, you might look at 1 Kings chapter 2. And so Shimei was the guy who cursed David, if I remember correctly, when David fled from Absalom. And so when David is about to die, he tells Solomon, it's like, you're going to have to deal with certain individuals. And one of them is Shimei. And so Solomon tells Shimei, I'll be merciful, but you got to stay in town. You have to, he says, this is 1 Kings chapter 2 at verse 36 and 37. He says, build yourself a house in Jerusalem and dwell there, and do not go out from there anywhere. It shall be on the day you go out and cross the brook Kidron, know for certain you shall surely die, your blood shall be on your head. And Shimei says, your saying is good. I'll do it. And you know what Shimei does eventually? He leaves town. And guess what happens to him? A little bit of the same thing going on here. You come to this city of refuge, you have to stay there until the high priest at that time dies. But if you go outside the limits of the city, if you go outside the city limits, and someone finds you and kills you for what you've done, he shall not be guilty of blood, because you should have remained in the city until the death of the high priest. Now, what's the application? Do not draw back to perdition. When you come to the Lord, when you come to him for refuge, don't draw back. Don't leave. Don't leave his protection. When it talks about it in Scripture, it talks about the dog returning to the vomit. The sow, having washed, returns to the mire. And so a fool repeats his folly. He's escaped the pollutions of the world, but he's once again entangled. And what it says is, it would have been better for him not to have known it than to have known it and to have turned from the truth. It's like the Lord is our refuge. Don't leave. Don't draw back. Don't draw back, or you have no hope. And so we come to him. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.